I would not be able to have my intuitive powers and my intuitive capability had it not been for art. When I started my psychic training with a mentor, one of her first homework assignments for us was to make an intuitive art. And at that point, I was like, art? Like, I don't know. I can't make Picasso. Like, I don't know how to make art. Like, what is art? And I didn't know this whole time that I was an artist, and we're all an artist, we're all creatives, but I had so much blockage around that. So, if you are someone who is deeply creative, you are also deeply intuitive. You have the ability to channel and create and tap into source consciousness and source energy. And literally, without my art, I don't know if I would be able to channel as joyously, channel as freely, have downtime, do what I want to do. And half the time when I make the art that I make, I'm like, what is this? And I think that's the beauty of art. It doesn't have to be this thing that's so technical. The example that I like to think of is like when we really enjoy food. Yes, we can get down to the culinary technicalities and the science behind it, but sometimes culturally, ancestrally, as black and brown folk, we just know that ancestors be making some good ass food. And that's how I kind of like to approach art. Sometimes I be making good ass art, and it's not for anybody else other than me and the validation of my inner child. So I really fuck with that. And because of that, I really wanted to share a couple of pieces that I made this week that were just actually super liberating and really fun to create without this like pressure of social media or this pressure of performance or this yeah, this pressure of social media or this pressure of performance. I think another thing that's really beautiful about art is, yeah, it can be totally on the extreme. One person can be like, this is the ugliest thing I've ever seen, and one person can be like, oh my god, like this is amazing, this is beautiful, this reminded me of my childhood, or this reminded me of something dear to me. And it's like, yeah, I just really love that part about art. And I think I stayed away from making art for so long because of that term art, and me thinking it was this huge thing, and this all these reasons, all these technical reasons for why I can't create or be myself. So, what do I even mean when I say intuitive art? Do I mean like channel and transmedium? No, I literally mean flow state. That's all psychic art is. I feel into the energy, connect to my inner child, I connect to a specific message that's maybe coming through, and then I just let my hand move with the paper, move with the pen, move with the pastels, and then it's like, voila. One of my favorite things about working with oil pastel is that it can be super freaking messy, and I love that. I love having smudges everywhere. I love when things are super imperfect because we're in the society of everything being homogenized, everything being, straight lined and perfect and this and that. And to create art outside the lines, to be queer in art in that way, I think is absolutely freaking amazing. I've been on this bender where I've been making a bunch of art with like big heads, like specifically inner child versions of me with huge heads, huge eyebrows, all these kind of things and body parts within me that I like rejected growing up because I wanted to be more like American, or I wanted to look more like whatever the culture is here in SoCal. Really skinny, really hairless, really like all these conceptual ideas of what it means to be beautiful or to be accepted or to be valid. It's coming out in my art in all these kind of like ugly ways, and I actually love that. I love creating ugly art because what is ugly? This art I drew is my fave right now. I drew it this week. It's just me. And I know what you're thinking, Nina, you don't have curly hair at the top of your head. Well, I used to once have wavy hair, okay? And it's not here right now, but like, you never know, it might come back. I drew this with the stars, with my imperfect stars around her head, because I just love making stars like this that are non-perfect in this way. And I made sure to draw her eyebrows real thick, this expression on her face, and the blue. It felt very throat chakra-y when I was making this too. Like I really felt an opening up my throat around like identity and like the bushy eyebrows being kind of blue and connected to my throat, and my ability to speak up and my ability to speak who I am into this existence. And so I'm really excited, and I'm really glad that I actually used this blue color. Another piece that I really want to talk about that I made this week was that of my partner. So I drew me, and then I drew another one of my partner, which honestly I think is really, really cute too. I tried to kind of use a little bit of red, blue, and pink. This is my cutie partner. And I made sure to draw their hair, how it kind of loops at the back of their ear like that. And the stars again. And I just recently started using like washi tape so I can create a little border. And this was my first piece where I like put washi tape around the border so it looks like the art's in the center. I've never done that before. I just saw people doing it too, like on Instagram and other art vlogs, and I was like, oh my god, you can create a border like that? Like, I didn't even know. Time and time again, I realized too, all the art pieces that I think are the most ugly when I'm making it, like literally I could be putting just like 2 or 3 like strokes on the paper, and I'm like, this is about to be so freaking ugly, this is gonna be so trash, I might as well scrap it. And there's this intuitive part of me that's like, no, 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 keep going. It's just like a psychic reading. Like sometimes you'll get downloads from spirit and the guides, or like your own intuitive knowing, and you're like, how does this make any sense? But sometimes it's like, no, trust, let it cook, let it cook. And I kind of feel like intuitive art's in that way too. Like start with some really random shapes and like actually let it cook. It starts coming out like how a psychic download would, and I really, really also enjoy that. When I read for people, I see bursts of auras, and this is kind of what it reminded me of. I had a client session where I read for someone who had sunset aura, and it kind of reminded me of this like ball of sunset energy, and it's like not this neatly packaged thing, but I just thought it was really beautiful. I thought it was different. This really nice sunset aura glow. This is another art piece I drew of my partner as well. Freaking cutie. In like femme form. And at first I was so like scared about the eyes, because I was like, I messed up the eyes. I messed up. But again, in intuitive art, there's no messing up. There's just movement and creation and blah, like whatever comes out. But I'm actually really obsessed with this piece, and I intentionally left the hair white because I also know like my partner likes Gojo and sometimes like this kind of like white hair aesthetic. So I made sure to leave it there as well, with the like green and the blue. This is another one of my favorite pieces. And I realized that when I make my art small too, it kind of feels like a fun little like afternoon activity, and it keeps the creation kind of going without the pressure of like a huge canvas. So creating these like little minis, these like little mini guys have also been really fun. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed my little yap about intuitive art and why I like to do it. And I don't know, I'm just having fun, and I really want to be able to document my life and document the things I'm interested on and document my creations and how I feel about them, because why not treat the space as like my own little digital journal?